All right, 5 political stories from the week. First, Uvalde. Massive tragedy there. 21 people killed, 19 children. I can't begin to describe what kind of individual does something like this, but in the wake of it, there's so much to be dealt with. How they disseminated information, so much wrong information coming out about the timeline. Every day we're learning something new about that TikTok, when the things happened, what was done at the school to prepare these things. And then obviously we're moving on to the solutions. Where do we go from here? How do we address mental health? The big gun debate in Capitol Hill. It'll be really interesting where that happens. The NRA is literally meeting right now in Houston, Texas. There'll be a lot, clearly, of discussion there. Next on the list, primary night on Tuesday. 2 big states, Georgia and Alabama. First on Georgia, where President Trump had his sights set. You've got Governor Brian Kemp, the incumbent, winning with over 70%, beating former Senator David Perdue. That, no matter how you slice it, was huge. There was a question of whether Perdue could hold him under 50. Not only didn't he do that, Kemp got 73% of the vote. That was huge. A big rebuke there for the president's team, where they invested a lot of money. But at the end of the day, this is what you have to keep in mind. The president may not have liked how Kemp handled the election, but the bottom line is Kemp has governed as a conservative. And I think the people of Georgia liked how he was governing and didn't want to re-litigate a lot of 2020. This was not a rebuke of Trump by any means. Kemp is governing as an America First candidate. The Secretary of State race, another big blowout there. Brad Raffensperger, the incumbent, wins with over 50%, gets away with not having to go into a runoff with Congressman Jody Hice, who was Trump's back candidate. I was surprised that he actually made it over that threshold, but again, a big win. Raffensperger ran an amazing campaign. Mechanics matter in campaigns. That's something that can't be understated. If you run a really good campaign against a candidate that doesn't, you can win. And I think what Raffensperger shows is that he went to all areas of Georgia, talked about it, took on the issue of the election head on, talked about what he was doing to resolve it, and clearly enough people bought it. Now, Trump did get a big win by getting his lieutenant governor candidate moving forward to the general election. That was big. In Alabama, the story of the week is Mo Brooks fighting another day. He was left for dead. He was endorsed, then unendorsed. You had 3 candidates going in, Katie Brick, Mike Durant, and Mo Brooks. Mo Brooks was falling behind both Katie Britt and Mike Durant. He surged into second place, 29%. Britt was held to 44. That means they're going into a runoff. Now, here's the interesting thing. Under normal circumstances, I would say Trump is just going to endorse Britt and game over. But Mike Durant and his supporters seem to be leaning into Brooks. Can they keep this competitive if a Trump endorsement comes? We're going to have to wait and see. We still haven't seen that Trump endorsement yet, so there's a little bit of time to tell. And then, Pennsylvania, officially, now less than 1,000 votes divides Mehmet Oz and Dave McCormick. They only needed half of 1% to go to a runoff. It's less than 0.1, 900 or so votes. It's headed to a runoff. We'll see where that ends up, but this is way too close to call, and you never know what happens when they go to recount. Those human errors, transposing a number, missing something here, adding something wrong. So it's going to be really interesting where this race heads. It's anybody's race at this point. Then the Michael Sussman trial, the Clinton lawyer from 2016 that lied to the FBI. Sussman was clear in a text message to the FBI. I'm not working on behalf of any client. I have some information that would help the Bureau. We know now that he was getting paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign. The billing records are there. He knew that he was working for Hillary. He lied to the FBI. The prosecution made a very strong case. Durham's attorneys, that special counsel, I think he's going to get convicted. It'll be interesting because if he goes, then I think the question is, where does this trial lead next? Who else is on special counsel Durham's list? Last, it's Memorial Day weekend. We got sales, cookouts, time to binge. But at the end of the day, this is about those men and women who have sacrificed for this nation. We celebrate Veterans Day later on in the year. Today is about the people who have given the ultimate sacrifice. The ability to us say what we want, do what we want, practice religion what we want, attend those cookouts is because other people fought for the freedom that we now cherish. So as much as things divide us, there are people who sacrifice to ensure that we could do that. Over this 3-day long weekend, take a few minutes. Google something. Look up something for yourself. But also try to pass something along to a younger American so that they know what Memorial Day is. Because too many people are getting them all confused now. What's the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day? One is for people who keep serving, who are serving, who did serve. The other Memorial Day is about people who sacrificed for this country. So take some time to remember that. You'll have a whole bunch of time to catch up on old episodes of Spicer and Company. If you missed any, go to newsmax.com. But next week we kick it off, Lindsay and I, Monday night, 6 o'clock on Newsmax. See you then.